So we're still on the grade here, just south of bridge number 7. We're in this nice little cutting here, in a very quiet area here, and what we have just up on the eastern side of the cutting is a telegraph pole. And this is the bottom end of it, which is what gave it away. I've been around the railway enough to know exactly what the poles look like after all these years. And following it up here onto the side of the embankment, you can see here's the top of the pole. Inside here, kind of hard to see, but there's the bolt for the cross beam, and there's the cross member itself, and there's a piece of wire, and you can see one of the pegs. I'm guessing the insulator is long gone. Piece of wire here. There's probably the wire from the insulator. So it's a neat little find here, just up above the railroad grade. So we've arrived at the site of bridge number 8. You can see the grade right here in front of me, heading off to the north, and the crossing is just right here. Very difficult to see, but the railway would have crossed across here on the bridge. Down through the trees here, you can see some of the piles. We're gonna go in for a little bit of a closer look. Just have to make our way down the abutment here that's been washed away somewhat, so you can see a little bit better view of the piles here. And then again, there are piles here on the, I'm not sure if this would have been in the middle of the creek at the time. Head our way over here a little bit. You can see we've got the pins from the bridge. And right up here is the southern abutment here. Here's just a little closer view of the piles here in the middle. And again, the ones over here on the southern side. And so we're going to head up over there to the south side of the embankment and take a look from there. So we're up here on the south side of the abutment. You can look across over here so you can see the grade to the north, right through here, right through the trees. And you can see the remains of some of the piles, certainly the big ones here that may have been in the middle of the river. You can see our height up above the creek below us. And then the grade would have continued on its way this way in through this, once again, very pretty little cutting. You can see down here indentations for where the ties were. You can see them quite clearly here. And then the grade would have continued in this southerly direction on our way to bridge number 9. So we're still here at bridge number 8, right behind me here. And we're just going to shoot through this little cutting here, because the next bridge is coming up just ahead. You can see how fairly untouched the grade is through this area. How well defined it is. And you can see we're coming up here on the next bridge, bridge number 9. Not as much trace of this one here. You can see how badly eroded things are. You can see quite a number of piles over there on the opposite side, several rows of them, as the grade would have continued in its south-southwesterly direction. So we're going to make our way down there and get some close-up video of that. So we're here on the southern shore of the creek. You can see the piles we were noting from the northern side. The grade itself is just right over here. And so you can see a close-up of these piles. All the debris that's been thrown up by the river, yet more piles over here. And more right here. And then there's more inside here. Here you can see some have been completely bowled over by the undermining of the river. So you can see these ones here, once again, that we noted from the north side. And so it appears here that this whole section of grade has been completely blown out by the movement of the creek. You can see here that this appears to have been rock work here to support this side of the grade. And what has happened is the creek has shifted its course and completely eroded this section here. You can see some debris in the river here. Appear to be tie plates. A whole bunch of them. And so this whole section of grade here would have been wiped out by the movement of the river. So we're just a short distance from the site of bridge number 9, which you can see right through the trees here. You can make out the tops of some of the piles. And so you can see what has occurred to this section here. The grade continues on this way in its south-southwesterly direction. And so you can see the natural movement of the river has absolutely torn out this whole section of grade. So the railway would have went right here in this direction, right through the tree there, over the pilings, and continued northward. And so the creek has moved considerably since the railway was abandoned in 1938.